The year is 1865. The Civil War ends and slavery is abolished. The nation breathes a collective sigh of relief as the brutal conflict that tore the country apart finally concludes. Families reunite, and the hope for a new era of freedom and equality begins to take root. The 13th Amendment promises freedom to those enslaved. It is a monumental step forward, a beacon of hope for millions who have endured unimaginable suffering. The amendment reads, "Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction." However, a critical loophole exists within this historic document. It allows for forced labor as punishment for a crime. This exception, seemingly minor, would have profound and far-reaching consequences. This loophole becomes a weapon against newly freed Black Americans. Almost immediately, Southern states begin to exploit this exception. Black codes are enacted, criminalizing a wide range of behaviors to ensure a steady supply of convict labor. Southern states, desperate for labor and eager to control Black citizens, exploit this exception. Convict leasing is born. Black men, women, and even children are arrested on dubious charges and leased out to private enterprises. They work in mines, on railroads, and in fields, enduring conditions that are often as brutal as slavery itself. The promise of freedom is overshadowed by a new form of bondage. To feed the convict leasing system, states enact black codes. These laws target Black Americans. Simple acts like vagrancy or not having a labor contract become crimes. Black men, women, and even children are arrested en masse. Courts, often biased, convict them. Their punishment? Forced labor under the convict leasing system. Convict leasing becomes a lucrative business. States profit by leasing convicts to private companies. These companies gain access to cheap, disposable labor. Mines, railroads, and plantations thrive on this system. The incentive to arrest and convict Black Americans intensifies. Profit, not justice, drives the system. Section 4, worse than slavery. Life and death in the leasing system. Conditions under convict leasing are horrific. Convicts endure brutal treatment. Whippings, beatings, and torture are commonplace. Living conditions are deplorable. Overcrowded, disease-ridden camps become death traps. Death rates soar. Many argue convict leasing is even crueler than slavery. Slaves as property held some value. Leased convicts are disposable. Section 5, Terror in Turpentine Camps, the case of John Davis. John Davis, a black man falsely accused of stealing a mule, exemplifies the horrors of convict leasing. In the early 1900s, the justice system was heavily biased against black individuals, often leading to false accusations and wrongful convictions. Davis's case was no different. He was swiftly arrested and convicted without a fair trial. Leased to a turpentine camp, Davis endures unimaginable cruelty. These camps were notorious for their brutal conditions, where convicts were forced to work long hours with little to no rest. The overseers were ruthless, ensuring that every ounce of labor was extracted from the convicts. Whippings, starvation, and overwork become his daily reality. The overseers used whippings as a primary method of control, instilling fear and compliance among the convicts. Food was scarce, and what little was provided was often inadequate, leading to severe malnutrition. He witnesses fellow convicts die from exhaustion and disease. The harsh working conditions, combined with the lack of medical care, meant that many did not survive their sentences. Diseases such as tuberculosis and pneumonia were rampant, claiming the lives of many. Davis's story, sadly, is not unique. Many black men were caught in the web of convict leasing, a system designed to exploit their labor under the guise of criminal justice. The chains they wore were not just physical, but symbolic of the systemic oppression they faced. Countless others suffer similar fates. The convict leasing system was widespread, affecting thousands of black men across the southern United States. Each story, like Davis's, is a testament to the cruelty and inhumanity of this practice. Convict leasing becomes a reign of terror. This system, which was supposed to be a form of punishment, turned into a mechanism of terror, stripping individuals of their dignity and humanity. The legacy of convict leasing is a dark chapter in American history, one that continues to resonate today. Section 6. A stain on the nation. Early voices against convict leasing. Despite the dangers, brave individuals and organizations speak out against convict leasing. Newspapers expose the abuses. Religious groups denounce the system's inhumanity. Civil rights advocates demand its abolition. Public pressure mounts. Slowly, states begin to abolish convict leasing, but the fight is long and arduous. Section 7. Echoes of Exploitation. Convict leasing's legacy today. The legacy of convict leasing continues to haunt America. This system, which began in the aftermath of the Civil War, was a way to maintain the economic and social order of the South. It allowed states to lease out prisoners to private businesses, often subjecting them to brutal conditions and hard labor. The echoes of this exploitation are still felt today. The system's echoes resonate in today's criminal justice system. The practices of the past have evolved, but the core issues remain. Modern-day mass incarceration can be seen as a direct descendant of convict leasing, perpetuating a cycle of exploitation and racial discrimination. The criminal justice system continues to disproportionately target and incarcerate Black Americans. Mass incarceration disproportionately affects Black Americans. Despite making up only 13% of the US population, Black individuals represent a significant portion of the prison population. This disparity is a stark reminder of the systemic racism that has been embedded in the fabric of American society for centuries. Prison labor, often for meager wages, evokes the exploitation of convict leasing. Inmates are frequently employed in various industries, from manufacturing to agriculture, earning pennies on the dollar. This modern form of labor exploitation draws a direct line back to the days when prisoners were leased out for profit, highlighting the ongoing struggle for fair treatment and justice. The fight for racial justice requires acknowledging this dark chapter. Understanding the history of convict leasing and its lasting impact is crucial in addressing the inequalities that persist today. The civil rights movement of the past and the ongoing racial justice rallies are part of a continuous effort to dismantle these oppressive systems. Only by confronting the past can we build a more just future. It is through education, awareness, and collective action that we can hope to create a society where justice and equality are truly realized. By learning from history, we can ensure that the legacy of convict leasing does not continue to cast a shadow over future generations.